For Arthur, happiness always had a smell, the smell of homemade bread in the oven. And the sound of joy was his family laughing around a big table of pasta on Sunday. But at 73, these joys were stolen from him by 9 words from his doctor. Your tests came back high. You are pre-diabetic. You need to cut carbs immediately. It wasn't a diagnosis. It was a sentence. The end of his joy. The end of the things he loved. The first few weeks were the worst. Arthur's food became gray and lifeless. Sad salads, dry grilled chicken, and a constant hunger for something that made him happy. He became irritable and quiet, a ghost in his own home. The Sunday dinner, once the highlight of his week, became a silent torture. He watched his family eat pasta while he ate his leaves. The joy was gone from his life. His wife tried to help, making carb-free versions of his favorite foods, but they tasted like disappointment. He was doing everything right. He was following the rules. He was being a good patient, and he was absolutely miserable. He missed the food, but more than that, he missed the connection the food brought. His doctor was happy with his numbers, but Arthur was deeply depressed. He believed he had to choose between living more years without joy or living happily for less time. He was about to discover that this was the biggest lie of all. How many of us have heard the same sentence? That to be healthy, you must give up all pleasure. That joy and health cannot live on the same plate, but that is not true. Arthur's journey is proof that there is a better way, a secret that doctors rarely tell. We are about to reveal how he learned to eat the bread and pasta he loved, all while his glucose numbers dropped. To find out how he got his food and his joy back, join our community now. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss this transformation story. Arthur's turning point came on his granddaughter's birthday. There was a beautiful cake on the table. Arthur watched his youngest granddaughter eat a slice with an innocent smile, and his heart broke. He didn't feel anger. He felt a profound sadness, a grief for his own life. He thought, it's not fair. I can't live the rest of my years like this. There must be another way. He refused to accept that the future would be flavorless. He refused to be a spectator at his own table. That night, his sadness turned into determination. He began to research obsessively online. He wasn't looking for a magic pill. He was looking for hope. He started searching how to diabetics eat bread and how to reverse prediabetes. That's when he found an article about the centenarians in Okinawa, Japan. He read something that shocked him. Their diet was high in carbohydrates, like rice and sweet potatoes, but their glucose levels were perfect, and type 2 diabetes was almost non-existent. How was this possible? How could they eat carbs when he couldn't? He kept reading, and that's when he found the first clue, a mention of a sequencing secret. He discovered it wasn't what they ate, it was when they ate it, and that changed absolutely everything. Arthur dove deeper. He found modern studies that confirmed the ancient Japanese wisdom. The secret was simple: coat the bottom of your stomach first. He learned that eating carbohydrates on an empty stomach is like throwing gasoline on a fire. The bread, the rice, the pasta, all of it turns into sugar almost instantly, flooding the bloodstream. This is the glucose spike, the surge his doctor was trying to stop, the surge that causes prediabetes. But what if you could build a barrier to slow down the flood of sugar? What if you could eat the same bread, but make it release its energy slowly, instead of all at once? That's when he discovered the power of 3 things: fiber, protein, and fat. He read that if you eat your vegetables fiber and your meat protein before you touch the carbs, you create a type of safety net in your stomach. The fiber and protein slow down how fast the stomach empties. They force the carbohydrates to be digested slowly, releasing their sugar in a gentle stream, instead of an explosion. This information changed Arthur's entire perspective. He wasn't afraid of his food anymore. He realized it wasn't an all-or-nothing battle. It was a game of strategy and order. This is the kind of knowledge that empowers us. That gives us back control over our health and our joy. So often, the solution isn't deprivation, it's the right information. If you are finding this revelation as powerful as Arthur did, please hit the like button. It helps us reach more people who are stuck in that same trap of deprivation. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to see how Arthur put this theory to the test at his next Sunday dinner. Arthur was excited. He felt like a scientist about to run an experiment. He decided that the next Sunday dinner would be his first test. He was nervous, but hopeful. He didn't tell anyone, not even his wife Clara. He wanted to see if it worked first. He was afraid of failing, afraid his sugar levels would spike and prove him wrong. But the thought of giving up, of going back to his sad salads, was worse. He spent the week planning his attack. He looked at the Sunday menu, spaghetti bolognese. He knew the pasta was the enemy, but now he had a battle plan. He had the sequencing secret. He prepared his first weapon, a large green salad full of leafy greens, tomatoes, and cucumbers. His second weapon was the protein, the bolognese sauce itself, loaded with meat. And his third, and most important weapon, was patience. He promised himself he would follow the steps exactly as the Japanese did. He wasn't just going to a meal. He was going into a battle to reclaim his joy. He was ready to face his plate of pasta, not with fear, but with a strategy. The day arrived, the family gathered, and the aroma of basil and garlic filled the house. Arthur, a man over 60, felt his heart race. This was the moment of truth. Clara placed the steaming platter of spaghetti on the table, and Arthur's eyes locked onto it. He could feel the anxiety rising, the old voice of fear saying you can't, it will hurt you. But he took a deep breath and remembered the monk, coat the bottom of your stomach first. As everyone reached for the pasta, Arthur made his first move. He reached for the salad bowl. He filled his plate with the leafy greens, the tomatoes, and the cucumbers, and he began to eat. He ate slowly, chewing every leaf, as his family started on the main course. Clara watched him with a worried look, thinking he was depriving himself again. He just smiled at her and kept eating his salad, building his safety net. This moment is the core of our story. It's discipline meeting hope. Arthur is literally changing his future, one bite of salad at a time. He is proving that knowledge, when applied, is the most powerful tool for health. So many of us know what to do but are afraid to try. Arthur is pushing past the fear right now. If you are cheering for Arthur and believe in the power of small, strategic changes, show your support, hit the like button, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to see the result of his experiment. After he finished the entire salad, Arthur moved to step 2, the protein. He took a generous scoop of the bolognese sauce, but with no pasta. He ate the meat and the tomato sauce, savoring every piece. His family watched him, confused. "Dad, aren't you having any pasta?" his son asked. Arthur gave a mysterious smile and said, "I'm just preparing the foundation, my son." He ate all of the protein, feeling satisfied already, but not heavy. Then, and only then, did he make his final move. He reached for the pasta tongs and placed a small portion on his plate, not a mountain, but a normal serving. He looked at the pasta, his former forbidden food, and he took the first bite. He ate it slowly, tasting the texture, the joy of eating with his family. He finished his plate, feeling satisfied, and for the first time in months, he didn't feel guilty. He felt victorious. But the real test would come 2 hours later. He went to the bathroom and took out his glucose meter. His hands were shaking slightly. He pricked his finger, put the blood on the strip, and waited. It was the longest 10 seconds of his life. The machine beeped. He looked at the number, and his eyes filled with tears. The number on the screen was 125, a perfectly safe number after a meal. It was a number he hadn't seen in over a year, and he had just eaten pasta. The tears were from relief, from joy, from a hope so deep he could barely breathe. He walked out of the bathroom to Clara, who was washing dishes. He said nothing. He just showed her the meter. She looked at the number, then at his empty pasta plate, and then into his eyes. She hugged him tightly. "You did it, Arthur. You found the way. You did it. It wasn't a magic cure. It wasn't a miracle. It was science and ancient wisdom. It was proof that he didn't have to choose between his health and his joy. He could have both. The depression that haunted him began to lift. The gray cloud was finally clearing. He realized his doctor wasn't wrong. He just didn't have the complete information. The secret wasn't what, it was how and when. Arthur's journey, from the despair of deprivation to the joy of discovery, is the heart of our mission. He got his health back, but more importantly, he got his joy back. This life-changing knowledge is why Longevity Coffee exists, and we want to share more with you. If this story has touched you, and if you believe in this path of health without deprivation, this is the moment. Please hit that subscribe button and join our community for good. Thank you for staying with us this far. Let's finish learning Arthur's lesson. Arthur's strategy is simple now, and he calls it the 3-step sequencing secret. He never eats a carbohydrate naked or on an empty stomach ever again. Step 1 is always the fiber armor. He starts every main meal with a salad or vegetables. Step 2 is the protein block. He eats his portion of meat, fish, eggs, or chicken necks. Step 3 is the carb reward. He then eats his bread, rice, or pasta, but in a smaller portion. He eats the food he loves, but he eats it last, and it makes all the difference. He doesn't have glucose spikes anymore. His energy is stable all day, and he's even lost weight. He brought his meter to his doctor, who was shocked at the results. The doctor asked what diet he was on, and Arthur smiled and said, "The Joy Diet, doctor." Today, Arthur still bakes his homemade bread, and the Sunday dinners are full of laughter again. Pasta is no longer an enemy. Bread is no longer a sentence. They are just food again. They are the joy he can now enjoy. With wisdom and strategy, Arthur's story is proof that deprivation is not the only path to health. Knowledge is the path, and you do not have to give up the things you love to live a long and healthy life. If you are ready to trade deprivation for wisdom and bring happiness back to your plate, write in the comments, "Joy is back," to celebrate your decision. Don't forget to share this video with someone you love who might be afraid of their food. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next cup of longevity.